Most business owners are treating Claude like a search engine, and frankly, it's a waste of time. You're going to get mediocre answers because you're treating it like a chatbot. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how to treat it like a high-level employee that actually moves the needle on your revenue. 3 specific roles, real prompts, no theory. Look, it can be lonely at the top. We talked about the boardroom ghost before, but today we're going to go deeper. Because here's the thing, nobody's telling you about AI right now. The bottleneck isn't the tool, it's the role you give it. And when you treat Claude like Google, you get Google answers. When you treat it like an employee with a job description, a context file, and a clear expectations, you get something completely different. You get leverage. We aren't looking for agreement here. We are looking for no AI slop. We're looking for an unfair advantage, actually. So I'm going to walk you through the 3 specific employee roles that I've assigned to Claude this week. I'll use the exact prompts I'll show you and where this breaks down if you skip a step. So role number 1, Strategic Auditor. Most people open Claude and type, "Write me a business plan." That's amateur hour. You're going to get a generic, agreeable MBA textbook answer that any 22-year-old could have produced. Useless. But I upload my actual numbers, my real sales scripts, my current funnel, whatever the artifact is, and I give Claude a role with friction built in. The prompt looks like this. You are a cynical CFO with 20 years of experience advising founders in my industry. You've seen every flavor of overconfidence. Review the attached P&L. Identify the 3 weakest assumptions, the cash flow risk I'm not seeing, and the 1 expense category I'm probably rationalizing. Be direct. I don't want encouragement. I want pressure testing. Notice what I did there? I didn't ask for help. I assigned a persona, gave it a context, explicitly told it to disagree with me. That's the unlock there. Claude defaults to being helpful and agreeable, which is exactly what you don't want from a strategic advisor. You want somebody who pushes back. And I ran this exact prompt against my own quarterly numbers this week, and I flagged a customer acquisition cost issue I've been ignoring for 2 months because the top line revenue looked fine. That's a single insight that was worth more than any consultant I've paid in the last year, and it took 90 seconds. The key principle here is the more friction you build into the prompt, the more useful the output. Agreement is cheap. Pushback is where the money is at. And quick pause, if you're still here, you're the right person for this channel. Hit subscribe. I'm building a library of these AI employee workflows specifically for business owners who are tired of the hype and want stuff that actually moves revenue. The next 2 roles is where it gets really interesting, so stick around. Role number 2, Content Repurposer. This is the internet noise crusher on steroids. Here's the workflow. I get on a Zoom call with a client, or I record a 20-minute voice memo while I'm walking. Or I dump a transcript for a YouTube video I just shot. 1 piece of source material, raw and unedited. I drop it into Claude project I've already set up with my brand voice, my audience profile, and what I call the authority guardrail. Then I ask Claude to produce my week of content for 5 LinkedIn posts, 3 email subject lines with hooks, 2 YouTube titles, and a short form video script. But here's where 99% of people get this wrong. They skip the guardrail, that they let Claude default to its native voice, which is corporate hedging, full of phrases like, in today's fast-paced world, and leveraging synergies. That's AI slop. It's verbal equivalent of stock photography. The guardrail prompt looks like this. Establish the voice roles. Practical, direct, written like a senior operator talking to peers. No hedging language, no in today's world, no imagine if. Start posts with a strong claim or a specific number. Every post must contain 1 concrete example. If you cannot include a specific example, do not write the post. That last sentence is the magic. Give Claude permission to refuse the task if the source material doesn't support it. That single line eliminates more bad content than any editing pass ever will. 1 Zoom call, 1 walk, 1 video becomes a full week of content that actually sounds like you. That's the workflow. Role number 3. This is the one that changed how I run the entire business. Operations Manager, using the new Claude workflow automation features, specifically Cowork. If you haven't seen Cowork yet, I'm going to put together another video on this, by the way. But It's Anthropic's tool that lets Claude actually do work on your desktop. Read files, move things between folders, pull data out of one system and put it into another. It's the difference between an assistant who can answer questions and one who can actually execute. Here's how I'm using it right now. Every Monday morning, before I'm even at my desk, Claude pulls the previous week's calls from my meeting recordings folder. I actually record that mostly with Zoom. It summarizes each one against my CRM notes, flags the deals that have gone quiet, and drafts a follow-up email for each. By the time I sit down with my coffee, the admin layer of my week is already done. The setup prompt looks like this. You are my operations manager. Every Monday at 7 a.m., pull all meeting recordings from the past 7 days in the client calls folder. That's a Google Drive. Cross-reference each call against matching deal in my CRM. A deal is gone quiet if there has been no inbound contact from the prospect in the last 10 business days, and no scheduled next step on the calendar has been established. For every quiet deal, draft a follow-up email in my voice. Direct, no apologies for the gap. Reference one specific thing from our last conversation. Propose a concrete next step with 2 time options. Save drafts to my follow-ups folder. That's another folder. Do not send. Flag deals where the call sentiment suggests the prospect has moved on, and recommend whether to pursue or close out. See, I'm not chasing invoices. I'm summarizing meetings. And here's a key. I am not writing the same just circling back email I've written 400 times before. Now, here's the honest part. This isn't plug and play. You have to spend an afternoon setting up the workflow. You have to define exactly what gone quiet means. Do you know what that means? You have to give Claude the same context a new hire would need on day one. You need to establish who your customers are, what your tone is, what the deal stages are. The people who get the most out of this are the ones who treat the setup like onboarding an employee, not like configuring a tool here. But once it's running, you've effectively hired a part-time operations manager for the cost of a Claude subscription. That's amazing. That's the leverage play. Let me bring this home. Leverage isn't about working harder. It's about having better partners. And right now, most business owners are walking past the highest leverage partner they've ever had access to because they're still typing questions into it like it's Google. So the shift, the real one, happens when you stop chatting and you start building. When you stop prompting and start hiring. Yes. When you give Claude a role, a context file, and a job description instead of a question, Strategic Auditor, Content Repurposer, Operations Manager, those are your 3 new employees. 1 subscription, 0 excuses. If you want my exact prompt stack for the Strategic Auditor role, the full cynical CFO prompt with all the guardrails I use, drop the word workflow into the comments. I'll send it over to you. And if this changed how you think about using Claude, the best thing you can do is to send this video to other business owners who still is using it like it's a chatbot. That's how this channel grows. And I appreciate all your feedback, all your comments, all your likes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Make sure to watch this one above my shoulder next. Have a great day, evening, or night.